Yay, there we go. This will be Monday, May 14th, advanced class. We're going to get farther into Princess Bride. If you guys already talked about part of it, you did a little better than you guys last week. So we're going to get into Iocane powder today, which is why I'm wearing the shirt I am. Character challenge tomorrow, hat day tomorrow. There's my people on the Character challenge. Go to those people. Make sure you stay after school tomorrow. We're already doing NWA. Those of you at home, that you know good. Those of you at home, if you have points, you do get to spend them buying all kinds of yummy, delicious, sugary things. You have to do Friday to buy them, or next week after class. Then to you guys, let's see. We did the three main people of you guys last. We did. Who would be the guy on the far left over there?
Sicilian.
The Vizzini, who's the Sicilian. Why is he called the Sicilian?
He's from Sicily.
From Sicily, which is a little island outside of Italy. He is the smart one, also sometimes called the hunchback. The one in the middle is?
Inigo.
And who is Inigo's father?
Domingo.
Who is the person Domingo works for that does the swords?
Yesti.
Yesti. Is the one that's a really good sword maker person. And what is it Inigo has become a wizard at?
Fencing.
Fencing. And what country is he from?
Spain.
That's why he's called the Spaniard. He is also a drunk, which we're going to get to coming up.
Best time.
Drinking issues. And then the one all the way to this side is? Turk. He's also called the Turk because what country is he from?
Turkey.
Turkey. And what is it that is his sport that he's good at?
Wrestling.
He was really good at wrestling. And then we got to the top of the cliffs of San. The person that's following them is?
Man in
Black. And after he gets the man in black up there, who's trying to throw down with him, and do the little chase thing. And then we get to the chase. Then we do the fencing from there, the whole right hand to the left hand. And then we got to Fezzik. And to get past Fezzik, what is Fezzik supposed to do to kill him? Throw rocks at him. But they end up not doing that because he says it's not very sporting of me. So what do they do instead?
Choke each other.
They don't choke each other.
Each other out.
They try to do the wrestling and the fighting, and then he ends up doing the choking him out, making him fall asleep, and have giant headache, dreams of giant women or something like that. And then he chases after and gets to the part where he is going to confront Vizzini, the Sicilian, and that's where I was going to get into today. Tomorrow there is a scene called the reunion scene. Today's the only day I really plan on reading with you. Every day after this today, we'll be sort of doing all of our time talking. I just really like the Iocane powder scene, so I'm going to read that to you because it's basically a gift to me. But then tomorrow we're going to be talking about the reunion scene. If you read past that, it's fine. Because when you get to that part, it says that you can mail in to get the reunion scene. I've mailed in. I have the reunion scene. And so we're going to be going over that tomorrow, and I'm going to show you what I have for the reunion scene. And then Wednesday we're going to be talking about the end of Chapter 6 and all what happens there. And then Thursday we're going to be talking about Chapters 7 and 8, because 6, 7, and 8 are fairly short compared to Chapter 5, which is like 5 books in length or something like that. It's ridiculously long. And then 6, 7, 8 become short. And then Thursday we're going to do a whole bunch of talking and learning, because a whole bunch of stuff happens there. Sandy!
You said that you had the reunion scene, except when I pressed the link on your website, it showed a big, long article thingy.
Yeah, good job. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
What?
I know. This whole thing called learning, we're going to get to it eventually. I have faith in it catching
How
on.
long ago did you order the reunions?
A while ago.
Because like you can't order it anymore.
Yeah. Once again, learning tomorrow. We're going to get there. Stop trying to read ahead and learn.
I already read it.
Vizzini was waiting for you. Indeed, he had set out a little picnic spread. From the knapsack that he always carried, he had taken a small handkerchief, and on it he had placed 2 wine goblets. I think I have a picture. There you go. 2 wine goblets. In the center was a small leather wine holder, and beside it, some cheese and some apples. The spot could not have been lovelier. A high point of the mountain path, with a splendid view all the way back to Florin Channel. Buttercup lay helpless beside the picnic, gagged and tied and blindfolded. Vizzini held his long knife against her white throat. "Welcome!" Vizzini called when the man in black was almost upon them. The man in black stopped, surveyed the situation. "You've beaten my Turk," Vizzini said. "It would seem so. And now it is down to you, and it is down to me." "So that would seem too," the man in black said. edging just a half step closer to the hunchback's long knife. With a smile, the hunchback pushed the knife harder against Buttercup's throat. It was about to bring blood. "If you wish her dead, by all means keep moving," Vizzini said. The man in black froze. "Better," Vizzini nodded. No sound now beneath the moonlight. "I understand completely what you are trying to do, and I want it quite clear that I resent your behavior. You are trying to kidnap what I have rightfully stolen, and I think it quite ungentlemanly." "Let me explain," the man in black began, starting to edge forward. "You're killing her!" the Sicilian screamed, shoving harder with the knife. A drop of blood appeared now at Buttercup's throat, red against the white. The man in black retreated. "Let me explain," he said again, but from a distance. Again, the hunchback interrupted. "There is nothing you can tell me I do not already know. I have not had the schooling equal to some, but for knowledge outside of books, there is no one in the world close to me. People say I read minds, but that is not, in all honesty, true. I merely predict the truth using logic and wisdom. And I say you are a kidnapper. Admit it!" "I will admit that as a ransom item, she has value, nothing more. I have been entrusted to do certain things to her. It is very important that I follow my instructions. If I do this properly, I will be in demand for life. And my instructions do not include ransom. They include death. So your explanations are meaningless. We cannot do business together. You wish to keep her alive for ransom, whereas it is terribly important to me that she stop breathing in the very near future. Has it occurred to you that I have gone to great effort and expense, as well as personal sacrifice, to reach this point?" The man in black replied. "And if that I fail now, I might get very angry. And if she stops breathing in the very near future, it is entirely possible that you will catch the same fatal illness. I have no doubt you can kill me. Any man who can get by a Negro and pheasant would have no trouble disposing of me. However, has it occurred to you that if you did that, then neither of us would get what we want? You, having lost your ransom item, me, my life. We are at an impasse then. I fear so. I cannot compete with you physically, and you are no match for my brains. You are that smart. There are no words to contain all my wisdom. I am so cunning, crafty, and clever, so filled with deceit, guile, and chicanery, such a knave, so shrewd, cagey, as well as calculating, as diabolical as I am vulpine, as tricky as I am untrustworthy. Well, I told you there were not words invented yet to explain how great my brain is. But let me put it this way. The world is several million years old, and several billion people have at one time or another trod upon it. But I, Vizzini the Sicilian, am, speaking with pure candor and modesty, the slickest, sleekest, slyest, and wiliest fellow who has yet to come down in Pike. In that case, said the man in black, I challenge you to a battle of wits. Vizzini had to smile. For the princess, you read my mind. It just seems that way. I told you. It's merely logic and wisdom. To the death? Correct again. I accept. Begin the battle. Pour the wine. Vizzini filled the 2 goblets with deep red liquid. The man in black pulled from his dark clothing a small packet, handed it to the hunchback. Open it and inhale, but be careful not to touch. Vizzini took the packet, followed instructions. I smell nothing. The man in black took the packet again. What you do not smell is called Iocane powder. It is odorless, tasteless, and dissolves immediately in any kind of liquid. It also happens to be the deadliest poison known to man. Vizzini was beginning to get excited. I don't suppose you'd hand me the goblets, said the man in black. Vizzini shook his head. Take them yourself. My long knife does not leave her throat. The man in black reached down for the goblets. He took them, turned away. Vizzini cackled aloud in anticipation. The man in black busied himself a long moment. Then he turned again, and with a goblet in each hand. Very carefully, he put the goblet in his right hand in front of Vizzini, and put the goblet in his left hand across the kerchief from the hunchback. He sat down in front of the left-hand goblet and dropped the empty Iocane packet by the cheese. Your guess. Where is the poison? Guess? I don't guess. I think, I ponder, I deduce, then I decide, but I never guess. The battle of wits has begun, said the man in black. It ends when you decide and we drink the wine and find out who is right and who is dead. We both drink, need I add, and swallow, naturally, at precisely the same time. It's all so simple, said the hunchback. All I have to do is deduce, from what I know of you, the way your mind works. Are you the kind of man who would put the poison into his own glass or into the glass of his enemy? You're stalling. I'm relishing is what I'm doing, answered the Sicilian. No one has challenged my mind in years, and I love it. And by the way, May I smell both goblets? Sorry. May I smell both goblets? My guest, just be sure you put them down the same way you found them. The Sicilian sniffed his own glass. Then he reached across the kerchief for the goblet of the man in black and sniffed that. As you said, odorless. As I also said, you're stalling. The Sicilian smiled and stared at the wine goblets. Now a great fool would place the poison in his own goblet, because he would know that only another great fool would reach for what he was given. I am clearly not a great fool, so I will clearly not reach for your wine. That's your final choice? No, because you knew I was not a great fool, so you would know that I would never fall for such a trick. You could count on it, so I will clearly not reach for mine either. Keep going. I intend to. We've now decided the poison cup is most likely in front of you, but the poisonous powder made from Iocane, and Iocane comes from Australia, and Australia, as everyone knows, is people of criminals, and criminals are used to having people not trust them, as I don't trust you, which means I can clearly not choose the wine in front of you. The man in black was starting to get nervous. But again, you must have suspected I knew the origins of Iocane, so you would have known I knew about the criminals and criminal behavior, and therefore I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me. Truly, you have a dizzying intellect, whispered the man in black. You have beaten my Turk, which means you are exceptionally strong, and exceptionally strong men are convinced they are too powerful ever to die, too powerful even for Iocane poison, so you could have put it in your cup, trusting on your strength to save you. Thus, I can clearly not choose the wine in front of you. The man in black was very nervous now. But you also bested my Spaniard, which means you must have studied, because he studied many years for his excellence. And if you can study, you are clearly more than simply strong. You are aware of how mortal we all are, and you do not wish to die, so you have kept the poison as far from yourself as possible. Therefore, I can clearly not choose the wine in front of you. You're just trying to make me give something away with all this chatter, said the man in black angrily. Well, it won't work. You'll learn nothing from me. That I promise you. I've already learned everything from you. I know where the poison is. Only a genius could have deduced as much. How fortunate for me that I happen to be one, said the hunchback, growing more and more amused now. You cannot frighten me, said the man in black, but there was fear all through his voice. Shall we drink then? Pick, choose. Quit dragging it out. You don't know. You couldn't know. The Sicilian only smiled at the outburst. Then a strange look crossed his features, and he pointed up behind the man in black. What in the world could that be? He asked. The man in black turned around and looked. I don't see anything. Oh, I could have sworn I saw something. No matter. The Sicilian began to laugh. I don't understand what's so funny, said the man in black. I'll tell you in a minute. But first, let's drink. And he picked up his own wine goblet. The man in black picked up the one in front of him. They drank. You guessed wrong, said the man in black. You only think I guessed wrong, said the Sicilian, his laughter ringing louder. That's what's so funny. I switched glasses when your back was turned. There was nothing for the man in black to say. Fool! You fell victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war in Asia. Only slightly less known as this. Never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line. He was quite cheery until the Iocane powder took effect. The man... Sorry, death is always hilarious. The man, by the way, now you know why I'm wearing the shirt that I'm wearing. Connection. What, I spent the last few years building up an immunity to Iocane powder.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, that's coming up.
I am wearing an alcohol shirt to school, by the way, because I'm a rebel. I know. I know. I should be dress coded. Oh, let's see. The man in black stepped quickly over the corpse, then roughly ripped the blindfold from the princess's eyes. I heard everything that happened, Buttercup began. And then she said, oh, because she'd never been next to a dead man before. You killed him. I let him die laughing, said the man in black. Pray I do as much for you. He lifted her, slashed her bonds away, put her on her feet, and started to pull her along. Please, give me a moment to gather myself. The man in black released his grip. Buttercup rubbed her wrists, stopped, massaged her ankles. She took a final look at the Sicilian. To think, all that time it was your cup that was poisoned. They were both poisoned. I've spent the past 2 years building up immunity to Iocane powder. Sure. Buttercup looked up at him. He was terrifying to her, masked and hooded and dangerous. His voice was strained, rough. Who are you? I'm no one to be trifled with, replied the man in black. That's all you ever need to know. And with that, he yanked her upright. You've had your moment. Again, he pulled her after him. and this time she could do nothing but follow. If you've not read ahead, we do find out more about the Man in Black, and we get his backstory. And we get to find out all about him, and that's when we're going to get to the reunion scene coming up from there. Those of you who have read ahead, the information you find out coming up with the Man in Black's backstory, that level of information pales to the information you find out when we get to the end.
I guess you could say
I
it's his backstory.
Yeah. So the information I have for you when you finish, and we get to that conversation, much like those of you who have read ahead, you cannot pass that information along because now you know about the Man in Black's backstory. Tomorrow, we finally get to talk about that because most of our big secrets will have been revealed, thus allowing us to then talk much more freely about things. Sandy?
Is Iocane power real?
One more time?
Iocane power real.
Is it real? I do not know. I mean, if it is, I don't think it's around anymore that I'm aware of. I really wish I could bring some in and be like, I have Iocane powder. Come. I should have just brought in a random vial, like, sniff this, taste this. What could it be? And be like, Iocane powder. I'm like, yes!
But it's tasteless.
I know, that's why I can use anything.
Cinnamon powdered sugar.
But, once
Yeah,
again,
I would have done it.
I don't have Iocane powder connections like I did for other things, so
That was fake.
I should have just lied to you, but I'm not that kind of person.
Next time, have powdered sugar.
Sandy.
On your shirt it says I've spent the last few years, and in the book it says the last 2 years.
Yeah, I know. Who would have
Did they
thought?
make the shirt wrong, or did you make the shirt?
I didn't make the shirt. Magic Shirt Monkeys made it. You know what happens with shirt monkeys? They get all excited, their tails looking around, the fur going everywhere. Sometimes it messes up the little printing things that go into it. Take off! See you later.